Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that told me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Looking to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
3-19!
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
On now is the Packers punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Taking it about the 16. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3 quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Touchdown, Vikings! A big play there, 78 yards, and the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. That'll make it 1st and 15. A false start backs them up 5. 1st and 15.
Hurry up, here we go. Boom, landed.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up a throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harmon. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. To throw now on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost gets the football. And this belongs to the Vikings.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They go play action here on first down. His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to it. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Carlson now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down to...
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a first down.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. He'll drop the throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now the ball comes loose, and this belongs to the Vikings.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through it, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
They'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. Touchdown, Packers. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make our score 14-7. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also...
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. Doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Carlson now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Garrett. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the fair catch is made. It's going to pin him back here at the 7-yard line. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st down, Fields. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done. That one goes for 24 yards. This quarterback now already over 200 yards in this first quarter. And he's got another 1st and 10. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. Fields. Wide open receiver complete. The 20. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. On his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 3rd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Pass interference, defense.
So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15. And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving.
Offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
All right, here we go.
He'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they? When they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown. and this one they help force another incompletion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
On 1st and 10, Fields. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. 78 yards. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
Brandon, remind me again, this is a rookie quarterback we're seeing?
A rookie indeed.
I mean, because my eyes are telling me something I'm having trouble believing. 5 touchdown passes. He's thrown 5 in this game. Are you kidding me?
Carlson now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
To make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And, oh, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll look to throw again. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now they go screen. It's complete. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 36, 20, 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
That pick 6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
Carlson now to add the extra point. Oh, this is blocked. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. They'll look to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first. Back to throw here. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
They'll drop to throw. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A gain of 32 that time. Back to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. In for the score. And the Packers make some inroads here on that deficit.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will shave one more off this lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. A final shot before break. Fields. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is, don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. 30, 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 75 yards. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes, someone delivering it accurately, offensive line giving him time to throw the ball. A true team record, but he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Let's go!
And they'll run it here. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they're going to have a 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a 1st down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try to pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a 3rd down.
Here we go now. Green.
And on the ground they go with the running back. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there. 82 yards. And the Vikings offense continues to pour it on. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I've lost track of how many times he's been in the end zone. This is just flat unbelievable.
Doesn't matter whether you have an abacus, a calculator, just old-fashioned pencil and paper trying to total it up. The number is staggering. What a performance. This man knows how to find the end zone and make it count.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Carlson now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll look to throw here on first down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like a Packer. Yeah, a Packer was able to get this back, and they'll indeed keep possession.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. This from 54 yards away. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. He had it online, gave it a pretty good ride too, but in the end, he's a victim of the crossbar.
And Brandon, you know kickers very well. I bet if we ask him after the game, he'll say he didn't get all of it. We've seen him hit from deeper than this in warm-ups. But here, he's a foot or so from clearing that bar.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. He will go out right near the 35-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Partner, if you and I were playing quarterback in this one, we would be really confident right now throwing it to him, wouldn't we?
Yeah, he's been spectacular. He's just saying, hey, I was all state. I'll make it rain out here. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Carlson now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out? So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? On first down, he'll drop to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving.
Offense.
Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Now they try the right side here. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Looking to throw. Fields. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They're becoming a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guy.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week. And this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. But now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
And now off to the races down the right side. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches, be honest, don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
And he's caught right at the 10-yard line. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. In for the score. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2. A toss running left. That's Carpenter. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal.
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And now out comes Minnesota. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. That one looks like he'll throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Vikings, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll have another home date next week as the Detroit Lions come to town. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the New Orleans Saints. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.